Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Each episode we cover a specific movie, and we'll get to today's episode's movie in a little bit. But first, as always, I need to invite you, the listener, to join in on the fan vote and suggest movies for said fan vote, which happens during Tay's episode, which was last time. So if you missed out, L for you. But you can always get on the next one or vote on the next one. The votes are happening in the Discord, the Fair Nation Discord, link down below. And if you want to suggest a movie, either comment in the on the latest episode of Film Freaks with a Z on YouTube, or send us a message at ff.filmfreakswithaz at the end at twitter.com. What the hell am I saying? ff.filmfreakswithaz at the end at gmail.com. Or you can talk in the movie stuff section on the Discord. All right, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we introduce the movie. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I'm here with...
Pretty Waffles.
Hey, Mission.
Ray Positivity.
How do you all do today?
I doobie do. Good.
I'm alright.
Yeah, I'm okay. Tired,
Good.
but
Same.
Well, it sounds like
Love
we're
it.
all just ready to go.
Yeah.
It is a Monday for sure.
Yeah, the Monday blues are kicking in.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. Ray, you had a movie for us. Let's
I
hear it.
sure did. My movie was Inside Out from 2015. And the whole synopsis is after Riley is uprooted from her Midwest life and moved to San Francisco, her emotions joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness conflict on how it's best to navigate a new city, house, and school. Directors Pete Docter, Ronnie Del Carmen. Writers are Pete Docter, Ronnie Del Carmen, and Meg Lefau. It's French, maybe? It stars Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, and Louis Black. And this is one of my favorite Pixar movies ever created.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way after watching it this time around?
I do for like different reasons. It's like I did back then for appreciating the fact that they bring attention to emotions and how hard that is for a kid. And I was like, yeah, that was really hard for me as a kid. And then I watched it, obviously recently. And I was like, wow, this was hard for me to watch back then as I'm watching back as a kid. It was a weird inside out inception for me.
Yeah, it was
I
hard
going
back
through a
then.
lot
It's
in
still hard
2015.
now.
Yeah, honest to goodness. But yeah, I still really appreciate it. How about y'all? Is it one of your favorites, least favorite Pixar? Are y'all big Pixar people? I guess is a good question.
I have watched all the Pixar movies.
Mhm.
This one, it's not my favorite, but it's not like a low tier kind of movie. It's still good. I enjoy it a lot. I do have some issues with some of the like concepts that they're trying to pull off with like some of the like. We can get into it later, but just a
Sure.
general like, yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Still, I liked it when I first saw it. Still like it today. No difference, no change there.
yeah. I'm in the same boat. I haven't seen every Pixar movie. I don't think I've seen The Good Dinosaur, but
You can
Yeah.
skip that.
or
One.
Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 was actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
actually like that one.
I got bored.
Yeah.
You didn't like
besides
Forky?
those two,
Or what was his
and
name?
then some of
Spork?
the I say some of the sequels like Cars 3
No.
and 2.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, this is like I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but it's not my favorite Pixar
Fair.
movie. But
Yeah.
it's definitely not like a low point.
Yeah, we all know Tay's favorite is Cars 2.
The one I just said I haven't seen.
I meant to say Cars 1. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Give me some
What
more
is
of
your
that.
favorite?
My favorite is probably that's a tough one. Might be Monsters Inc.
Okay.
That is a really good
Respect.
Mine
Yeah.
is Sausage Party.
Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a Pixar. Sorry. I haven't seen that one either.
That was a Pixar venture.
Yeah, they try to go on the opposite spectrum on that one.
And
Mhm.
succeeded.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say my favorite is Ratatouille. I love
That's
Ratatouille.
fair.
That too is
But
good.
there's a couple, like, I flop between a couple of them because I also really like Finding Nemo, and
mhm.
more recently Luca was really fun. So
Luca's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot Luca. Luca is really good. That was
Man.
was that Pixar or was that just Disney?
that do be Pixar.
It was Pixar. Okay.
I watched that
also-
when I had COVID for the first time. Luca, I was at the beach and I got COVID. And I remember watching it and wanting to laugh so badly, but I couldn't because my chest was like on fire. Like it
Yeah.
hurt so bad. So I haven't watched it since then, but I do remember liking it. It's just
Yeah, Luca
hard
is also
to go back.
one of my favorites for sure.
It's good.
Yeah, I had the kind of the same experience while watching Encanto for the first time. I didn't have COVID, but I took the COVID shot, and it
Oh.
knocked me out for a day. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I think I was half sleeping, half awake, but I was just listening to the songs, and they were bops. You know, there was some
Yeah.
good stuff in there.
But I can see where that would be
Encanto
fever
is
dream
Disney, though.
content.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Encanto's
Encanto-
Disney. That's
Yeah.
not Pixar.
Okay, yeah. Because I do like Encanto too.
That's pretty good.
How can you
Encanto,
incant? No, wait, no, it doesn't work. I was gonna say, how can you Encanto like Encanto?
That was a reach, but I appreciate it.
Hey, you know, that's my middle name. Yemmy the reaching ferret.
Which like fits
Okay.
because ferrets
Yeah.
are so long.
Yeah, they're little noodles.
Oh.
They're the snakes of the mammal world.
I'm just realizing, did we hear Grady's if you like the movie or not? I don't remember.
I did.
No.
I
Yeah.
did like it. It's a good movie. It's not my favorite. My favorite is probably either the Toy Story series, Finding Nemo, or Up. I was always a big fan of Up.
Oh,
And Big Hero 6, that's Disney, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Disney.
That's
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, that's Disney.
Big Hero
No.
6 is great.
Yeah.
Or Wally. Wally's a good one too.
Wally's
Yeah,
great.
Wally's
too.
great.
Pixar's
I-
just fantastic.
I
They know
never
how to
cared
do
for
it.
I never cared for Wally that much.
Damn.
Really?
Really? Damn.
I think it got hyped up way too much for me. And then when I finally saw it, I was just like, huh,
I guess
I'm
that's
bored.
Yeah, the one thing
I
to
think
say,
I actually did fall asleep.
the one thing you can say about Pixar is, even like in their worst movies, they're always visually nice. Like
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
even even the ones that I would never want to watch again. Like at least The Good Dinosaur looked great. Like that was like
Yeah.
really good looking.
fair. Its only redeeming factor. That is a not good movie in my opinion.
But
you know what is a good movie that gets overlooked a lot? Bug's Life.
Oh, that's true.
has one of the best villains in Pixar history. Really.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
and also it just has a great message. You know,
It's tough to be a bug.
no, the message is that we can overthrow our overlord.
Hey,
Hey.
that's true.
Tay, where were you January 6th? Just asking.
I was here in Vegas. I don't support the January 6th. You know, we'll get a little political there for a sec.
That was, it
Anyway.
was just a joke, everyone. Let's move on.
I'm about to say, I can hear the viewers leaving.
Yeah.
No, that's stick
Sorry.
around because that was such a good joke.
Yeah.
They'll go, "What's next? What's this? What are they going to say next?" that I'm going to break out laughing at. You know.
Y'all need to calm down. Our listeners, not us.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pixar
Anyway.
has a lot of great movies, and Inside Out is kind of like it's visually nice, and it's also got a pretty good story to it.
Very good.
I
Love to
like
hear
the
it.
design of the characters. I think that like
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
it's almost like they like little dots make up the characters. It's very very cool.
So
the
the
yarn
characters-
look to them, I like.
Yeah.
they actually represent shapes. So joy is a star, sadness is a teardrop, anger is a brick, disgust is broccoli, and then fear is like an actual nerve.
Okay, yeah.
Bet
I
y'all-
can
I did
see
not
it.
pick that up, but yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
isn't that cool? I didn't know either until very recently. I was
I
like,
can see. I mean, I picked up like disgust being, broccoli and being
Mhm.
gross, but I didn't pick up on the others.
Yeah. I
Why
didn't
is
either. Like,
anger a brick? I don't get that.
Because you just shit bricks when you're
Oh.
angry. I don't know.
Oh, you throw bricks when you're angry?
You also do throw
it's like
them.
a
Yeah,
yeah.
like a fire brick. Like
Home Alone. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it is. Yeah. So speaking of the movie, do you all any personally have like core memories? Like some like a nice core memory.
Yeah, that's a good question because I was thinking about that while I was watching the movie. Then I forgot to like really think about it after I was done. But I think that most of my core memories have either been overwritten or I've just kind of like I just live with them and I don't really know what's the core memory.
That's fair.
I think one of my core memories is watching that SpongeBob episode where Pantera plays the music for the episode. I think that's like that was my that episode pretty much describes my entire personality. So I
I
think
love
that's
that
yeah.
actually.
that's a core memory of
Well-
watching that for the first time and being like, "Oh, this is like meat."
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, I feel like core memory, like they talk about this a little bit in the movie. Kind of, they hint at it, I should say. That core memories, they're not really your core. They change over time.
Right.
And the villain of the movie is Joy, by the way.
Oh,
There
you're in that
actually
camp,
is no
huh?
villain of the movie.
No, it's Joy.
Yeah,
God.
Tay's taking that side of things, huh?
No,
Because I've heard about that theory.
Okay,
but,
disgust.
I've never really. I mean, there is that one moment where she like tries to take off without sadness, and it's like, yeah, that's a dick move.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
No, there's a few moments she has where it's definitely just like she definitely grows and learns.
Mhm.
But she just is very egotistical and just like, no, joy is the only emotion anyone should ever feel. And like hurts Riley because of that, because she it causes this whole problem because she doesn't want a sad core memory.
Right. Yeah, she tries to like mask the other feelings because like they're technically negative, but like they're important and she doesn't really see it that way until
Yeah.
like Sadness is talking to Bing Bong and like talking him through his sadness and then she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I guess you do have a purpose."
Being sad is important.
yeah, it's unfortunate that the trailer for Inside Out 2 shows Joy trying to take over. Like anxiety comes in and tries to do something, and she's like, "No, it's I'm doing it."
Yeah.
And but maybe it's just like a one-off thing, but I always hate it when sequels don't build off of the growths of a character. Like they have to re-go
Yeah.
through the same thing, and I'm hoping that's
Yeah.
not how it's going to be. But that one scene alone kind of was like, why are they doing this? Like she
Yeah.
should have learned her lesson from the first movie,
Where did the
Right.
character development go?
Yeah,
because
no,
there is a good growth of the character throughout this entire film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that the second one like just raises more questions about the first movie. like
That's true.
like why like because you see in the trailer her dad has anxiety or his mom does, and it's like, where were they in the first movie?
oh,
I'm
it kind
sure-
of showed up. A little bit.
but not like as
when they're trying
characters.
No, but like an
Yeah.
actual the actual like character, like these other emotions, it's like no, they didn't exist before, and now suddenly Riley has them and everyone
Oh,
has-
that's true.
I feel
That's
like
true.
Pixar just didn't know that they were going to be making a sequel to this movie, and that's kind of what they only
Yeah.
do nowadays is sequels.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we never made a sequel to Inside Out 2. Let's see what we can do with this." And here we are.
Originally, when they like started to make this movie, there were 27 feelings, and they're like, "This is probably
Yeah,
way
that's
too
a little
much."
too
So
many.
they
Yeah,
ended
that's
up
way
hiding
too
them.
much.
Yeah. Well, and then like the the way this resolved is like they realize they can combine emotions, and that gives us new emotions. And it's like, cool. So it's like, why do we need, like in the second one, why do we need these new emotions where it's like technically just like fear and sadness like would create anxiety.
And ennui. A lot of people didn't
Yeah.
know that ennui was a feeling. They thought that Pixar made it up, which I think is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't know that it was an emotion, but
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's true.
Yeah.
It's French.
Well, I do remember like
it's
when they
only
first
a French emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only the French.
Only
have
the
it.
French can feel this one.
Yeah, and I remember when they first like showed pictures of the new emotions, like no trailer or anything. We didn't know who they were. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's depression." It's like there already is sadness. We don't need
Yeah.
depression.
Doubling up there.
Yeah. So it's glad that it became ennui, but ennui again, it's a combination of these emotions, and I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I wanted to, having a sequel to An Inside Out, it's fine. It's like there's a lot they can explore there, especially with puberty. But like
yeah.
I don't know, just introducing these new emotions that like it's weird.
I mean, to be fair, as we grow up and our brains are developing, like we develop different emotions. Like I can
For
say that I have a
sure.
lot more emotions than I did when I was, 12, like Riley or
For sure.
however
But why didn't
old
the
she is.
parents have them?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you on that. They kind of messed that one up. And maybe it's because we're looking at it through Riley's terms. So like Riley doesn't know ennui or like true depression yet. She knows sadness because she's sad that she left home, but she doesn't like, and she doesn't get that anxiety of like getting off the bus. She interprets it as fear because that's all she knows. So maybe we can read it that way.
Although I mean, technically, she did go through depression in the first movie when she stopped feeling everything and like her core memories went
100%.
away. That's depression.
Yeah, but like as a 12-year-old, you don't really know that yet. I mean, I know I didn't. I've had anxiety since I was 6 years old, but didn't know that's what it was. I just thought I was nervous and weird.
So say we all.
You're right.
Yeah.
So no, I'm excited for the new one.
It'll be interesting to see how they portray her feeling anxiety for the first time, because I remember when I first felt anxiety, I was like 22 or something like that, and I never had experienced like a panic attack before. It's scary, and I was like, and this is me, like I'm older, I should not be afraid.
You have
of
a
this, but-
grasp of your emotion.
Yeah, and it was just such a weird feeling and such a weird thing to happen. So it'll be interesting to see if they do anything like that with the movie.
Yeah.
With the characters.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
yeah, let's swing back around here. I think we're going too far into Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
Without it actually even being out. I felt like the core feelings that they chose here were okay. I feel like we're missing one though. I can't put my finger on which one, but I feel like there's one that could be in here that would have worked a little bit better than maybe like disgust or something.
Yeah, I would say it's disgust even an emotion.
I feel like jealousy. I feel like jealousy would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jealousy
or-
Jealousy would have worked better, I think, than disgust.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think fear, I don't know, just kind of in the movie just had
Nothing to
no
do.
point. Didn't really do much. So
He was
I don't-
the slapstick comedy emotion.
I
That's
guess.
true.
Yeah, I mean,
Like no one else suffered like slapstick stuff besides fear.
as a
It's like,
kid, I feel like
why?
the only emotion you feel sometimes is just fear, like because you're afraid of the dark, you're afraid of the scary movie you
Yeah.
just watched, you're afraid of
That's
blah blah
true.
blah blah blah. I feel like he
Mhm.
did need a bit more of a role, especially maybe earlier on when they were first introducing the fears, because the way that they introduce him is like, oh, there's a power cord there, step over that carefully.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah,
when you're a
that's-
kid, like who really know? Like I mean, my sister has a small little girl, and it's like to see her stop and step over something carefully, it's like that's a once in a million time thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
They should have done like a Monsters Inc. Easter egg or something that
Oh,
she
yeah.
figured that there was like a monster in her closet.
Yeah.
Like that would have been.
or just
better
being
in my
afraid of the dark too. Like just
Yeah.
having her parents turn on a nightlight for her and having like fear be like, oh, that's better or whatever. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's moving into a new city. She's fear of it, but yeah, they could have like built on that. Saying new house, new darkness. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
She's scared of that. That kind of thing.
the problem is when they were going through all that, it wasn't just fear. It was like all the emotions kind of, except for joy, coming together and being like, oh, this is terrible. This is so sad. Because when she was moving, like fear didn't take over the board or anything like that, and she didn't make any memories for fear. It was either sadness or joy.
That's true.
It's
Going back
interesting.
to-
Like they do sidetrack a lot of the other emotions in Riley's head. Like during that time where joy and sadness aren't there, she should just be fearing. She should be just be feeling fear, anger, and disgust, which they do show here and there. But for a majority, she's just sad, and it's like, well, she didn't really know how to be sad if sadness isn't there, right? Like,
I don't really think she was feeling sadness. I think she was just feeling empty. I think it was like trying to portray that like she wasn't feeling anything at all. Like she didn't know how to feel or what to feel, and then when she did feel, it was only anger, fear, or disgust. Maybe.
I don't know.
No, I
They
agree
said
with you, though.
fear was there for the slapstick. I think Bing Bong was the slapstick one.
Oh, Bing Bong.
Bing Bong was
Bing Bong,
awesome. I
Bing
loved him, especially the part where they took the shortcut. He's like DANGER shortcut.
Shortcut.
I thought
That's
that
great.
was funny.
yeah, Bing Bong's
you
a
guys-
highlight for sure.
Yeah. Did you guys have an imaginary friend growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I vividly remember my imaginary friend was not nice, and I remember like telling it off in my head, and then I never heard from it again. So
All right.
just a
Core
child's
memory.
brain. That yeah.
Mine-
core-
Mine was more of a Calvin and Hobbes situation.
Cute.
So
yeah, I had a lot of stuffed animals that I would make imaginary friends out of, but the one
Yeah.
that actually was imaginary was like for some reason my brain was like, and this imaginary friend hates you.
He's a dick.
Yemmy. That was a ghost. That wasn't an imaginary friend.
Uh,
you were actually
Well,
being
you know,
dumb.
they said that the first house I lived in was built on top of an old Native American burial ground, so it
There
could
you
have been
go.
a ghost.
That's basically every home here in America.
True.
Yikes.
This country was founded on a Native American burial ground.
Where's the lie? Where's
There
the
is
lie?
none. No lie. No lie detected.
I didn't know Inside Out would become so political. Wow.
yeah.
Oh, man.
No, it's funny. My wife apparently stole her little sister's imaginary friend and got in trouble for it.
Yikes.
She got grounded. She yelled from the other room. Even though she had nothing to do with it, just her sister was like, "He stole my imaginary friend."
What you gonna do about it? That's great. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. I feel bad for her sister, but
No, you should feel bad for my wife. It was her sister being a butt.
that's fair. Okay. Yeah. Justice for Tay's wife.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I love that Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends show back in the day,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I
Yes.
never like had the imagination to make up something quite like those characters that they showed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Mine was just a girl that hung out with me when I was sick. That's normally when she would come out because I would get bored at home.
Wow. Fair weather friend or bad weather friend.
I wish mine was cool, like Bing Bong or like Cheese.
Cheese. Yeah, fuck Blue. It's all about cheese. Come on.
Yeah.
Eduardo. I loved Eduardo.
Wilt or Wilf? What was that one? The like tall red basketball one?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's been too long. But he was great.
Yeah, Bing Bong was a pretty fun design. He reminded me
Yeah.
of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space Cotton Candy Cocoon.
Yes.
A little bit.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I'm about to look it up though.
Oh, you'll be scarred. That's one of
Yeah,
those
probably.
childhood trauma movies for me.
You won't be scarred. It's not scary.
But don't worry, we
That's an
already
adult.
talked about it, so you'll never have to watch it unless you are curious.
What's it called again?
Killer
Killer
Clowns,
clowns
spelled
from
with
outer
a K.
space. Yeah.
Okay.
And
You're
just,
gonna hate it.
you can
I'll
just look
tell
up
you that right now.
the Cotton Candy Cocoon.
It's stupid. Yeah. It's dumb.
Oh my lord.
Oh my.
That
You can stream the video game. There's a new video game coming out, or is it out already?
Yeah, it's an early. It's like it had an early release, and then the official release is like the 5th. But
go right
Yeah,
and stream
I'm
it.
Yikes! All right, I'm
Well,
not even gonna tell you what that reminds me of.
you could watch that and report
Um,
back to us next time.
no
What you
thanks.
think.
That's okay. I'll
Um,
pass.
yeah, that was a fan recommendation from the one and only Squid Daddy, who gave it a 5 out of 5. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god.
But he also probably would give Food Fight a 5 out of 5. So
Oh, yeah, Bing Bong was great. I love too, like the little quips that they put in there, like about like the jingle, like the random jingle that always gets stuck in our head. Like that is
Yeah.
such a random thing, but so true. Like, or remembering only like chopsticks and heart and soul on the piano.
yeah, that one. I probably would only remember chopsticks or something like that on the trumpet at this point, like from memory. I haven't played
I
the
can
trumpet
play
in
it
like
on
10
piano
years.
still.
Yeah, I could probably figure it out on
Yeah.
piano too.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
hard.
No, I did. That was great because it was just like, yep, that's accurate.
And like when they're on the train and Joy accidentally spills facts and opinions and they get all mixed up and he's like, "Oh, it happens all the time."
Yeah.
Like, how that's so true.
Yeah, a joke that I didn't get when I was a kid, but now you get it. 'Cause you're like, oh yeah,
Right.
I think I didn't even hear her say what that was. So until you just said it now, I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I do remember that.
There you go.
I wasn't paying attention enough, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, jeez. No, there are like just crazy aspects of this film that I'm like, it's. I want to know their thought process on how they like think to put some of these things in there, like in small things like that. I don't know. But actually, a fun fact about Bing Bong. Like the flower that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, all the colors they represent each emotion.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at you bringing fun facts to the episode.
I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
These are like, when I like a movie a lot, I will find lots of facts and watch director's cuts and all that fun stuff. So, ta-da.
Yeah, one of my favorite representations in the movie is the Dream Theater or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that was funny.
they put like the filter over it, and the little blob characters become what the characters look like, and
Yeah.
I find that concept like kind of funny or kind of fun. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I liked, and the one thing like that's kind of weird is like the awake meter is in the corner. Like I don't get why they needed that, because you're either, I mean there is a small bit of like in between like, but you're either awake or asleep. I don't.
If it said something besides, like, if it said like REM and like awake or something, because that's where you're dreaming is like during REM sleep.
Yeah, I think that the meter should have shown the different cycles of sleep, and it
Yeah.
was like going through the different cycles. I feel like that would have been a better representation of just being asleep or awake.
Yeah.
But maybe they wanted to make it a bit more
Kids can
basic because it is
understand that, though.
it is a
Yeah.
kids movie essentially.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing like from that I was like I just wish that it wasn't just so basic right there, because there's a lot of stuff that's like really intricately done, like the Imagination Land and this movie theater in general, and they do something so basic randomly. It's like why like why is that the basic thing where you have the train of thought, which is so like an incredible design and so thoughtfully put together, then you have the awakened asleep meter, like what the hell.
And the freaking clown. Oh my gosh.
The freaking clown.
The freaking clown.
I like how they
Nightmare.
call
I like
back
that
to him during
clown.
the credits. They actually have the guy who like is the the nightmare fuel at the end of the credits, or during the credits. And I thought that was kind of fun to have like, oh, here's where she got the idea for this terrible creature from this random guy who went to acting school, became a clown.
Yep. Crazy.
So I do want to ask, if the train of thought is destroyed and derailed, does that mean that you can't think anymore? Like you don't have any thoughts anymore?
Yeah, that's
That's interesting. Yeah, I never even thought about that.
That is I mean, I would say that's a plot hole because it's like,
Yeah.
well, if the
I
train,
feel
like,
like-
it was the only train, there wasn't
Yeah.
another one.
I feel like
True.
it would be
Yeah.
rebuilt. We've all lost our train of thought before.
That's true.
That is true.
So
They should have represented that then too. Like
Yeah.
while they're sleeping, like they have to repair the train so they can't like. That
Yeah,
would be interesting.
Or she was like, because I think that happened when she was searching up the buses or something like that. Like if she like suddenly forgot what she opened up a new tab and was about to type something and she forgot what she was about to type, and then like
That would have been good.
yeah, I think that would have been a good representation of like, oh, here's what happened in real life,
yeah.
and then we could have just seen like another train like just kind of shooting from a different direction because it's a new
Yeah.
train of thought. Like I maybe that would have been better in my opinion to represent that whole fiasco.
Agree. That would have been. That would
They
have been
needed
good.
some
I
kind
missed
of
that.
entertainment, so
Well, they can still have the train crashing and all that, but I just it doesn't seem to matter in the long run for Riley in general because they don't show like we just said like anything happening outside of her essentially.
Yeah. That's true.
And the emotional center of the movie was I guess the emotional point of the sticking point was when Joy falls into the abyss essentially.
Ugh.
And
Yeah.
this character that is always looking at the bright side of things starts breaking down and crying. And it's a pretty powerful moment, I would say. It didn't connect with me as much as or resonate with me as much as the ending of Coco or even like the love story between Wally and Eve. But
Yeah.
it was still a pretty powerful moment, I would say.
Yeah, it is kind of like
Yeah.
it's her own breaking point, and she's never been there before, so like that was new for her too. Which, yeah,
What they should have done is zoomed in on Joy's brain, and then you see that Joy is controlled by emotions as well, and then finally the sadness is like in there, and tied up Joy and like, haha, now I'm in control.
Inception, essentially.
Yeah,
Feeling
exactly.
Inception.
I still love the meme though, where it's like Pixar is always like, oh, what if fish had feelings? What if toys had feelings? And like going on, and then finally, it's like, what if feelings had feelings?
Now they're like, what if dinosaurs had feelings? What if
Yeah.
souls had feelings? What if sea monsters had feelings? I don't know.
yeah.
We've gone in many
I
different
wouldn't doubt-
directions since this one. What if Scottish people had feelings? Wow, what a question.
No,
Whoa.
Okay, that's
too far.
too extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the real question. What if Scottish people had feelings?
The cool thing also about this movie is there are different versions of the film in different countries. So like in Japan, like kids actually really like broccoli, so they change it to green peppers.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like when the dad is daydreaming in the beginning when they're like sitting down eating dinner, it's either hockey or soccer going
Yeah.
on up in his head
Yeah.
or like football.
Yeah. I mean, the
So
hockey
that's
one
kinda
makes
cool.
sense though because they're from the Midwest and
Yeah.
that
They love hockey.
they love hockey there.
So I think like that would change too. Like she'd be like on a soccer team rather than like a hockey team. And
Well,
that
that's
kind
the
of
thing.
stuff.
It's I don't think they would change it that much. Because that would change. I don't know. That changes
Yeah, I
the
don't.
movie so
Yeah,
much.
I don't think they changed the hockey thing, like her playing hockey. But I do remember hearing that the dad was now thinking of like football instead of hockey for some different
Football?
regions.
Yeah. It's just like Captain America's list from Winter Soldier. It changed based on the region.
That's right. So rewinding a bit to Bing Bong's sacrifice. I forgot that he I mean, I remember Joy getting out of there with the rocket, but I didn't remember like Bing Bong doing the big old sacrifice there, which is
You
another
didn't
pretty.
remember that?
Well, I remember Bing Bong fading away. I didn't remember him like encouraging Joy to keep singing louder so that she wouldn't notice that he got off and whatever. And then he fades away as soon as she turns around, or well, as she's turning around. So that's another like pretty powerful moment because Bing Bong's been this character that all he wants is for Riley to remember him, and he's been fighting for that the entire time. And he's like, well, I guess I would rather Riley be happy than remember me or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so sad. I remember watching it for the first time and I like bawled my eyes out. And I was so embarrassed because I was like at my friend's house. She was like, hey, let's watch Inside Out. I was like, oh, cool. I've never seen it before. I was sobbing in this poor girl's living room. I was like, I am so sorry. But this just like hit me right in the feels and I wasn't expecting it. And she was like, oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, like the abyss thing, and like if you think about it from like a real person, like just real world standpoint, is like it's not eternal. If somebody else remembers it and brings it up to you, you're not something like, what are you talking about? I mean, I guess some people do, but
Yeah, I mean, some things I've completely forgotten and
yeah.
not known.
But I feel like your imaginary friend going, oh yeah, you had an imaginary friend Bing Bong. I did? Huh. And then you would slowly, like, they'd reform slowly.
Oh yeah, maybe he'll come back in the next movie when Riley like sees a picture of him or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Possible.
how cool would that be?
That'll be such a happy moment.
Aw.
I do like the idea of that abyss, and I think that like just having the balls be down there and not fade away might be better representation of like forgetting about something than remembering it, right? Because some of those things were like fading. I mean, I understand like there was some like things from like her like preschool era where she was like really, really like a child, and it's like yeah, I mean, how much of that stuff do you really remember? Like you make a memory, and then it's like who how much of that do you remember? And it's like yeah, I get those things like fading away, but there are some things that you can like dig up and be like, oh yeah, I remember doing this at this place, and I was like 5 years old, like randomly remember that. Which maybe could have been like shown off as well with those blobs that were, deleting things. They're like, oh, this random thing that happened at Chuck E. Cheese. Let's remember that, and just that from the 5-year-old stage or whatever,
Yeah. Man. I remember like I weirdly remember a lot and not a lot of my like younger childhood. Like I remember I think my earliest memory is when I was 4 years old, which is wild.
Yeah, it just gets harder and harder for me to remember back to like when I was really young. Like I still remember fracturing my foot in like 6th grade. I got caught in a hole in the playground, and that sucked.
Ooh.
Fun fact, I fractured my arm the same time as Yemmy fractured his foot.
Really?
Yeah, so Greedy was in a cast, and I was in a cast as well. And yeah, we were trying to like play like.
Did you say or Greedy? Did you try to avenge him and like punch the hole?
Yeah.
How dare you hurt my friend?
But we were at my like
broke my arm.
sister's. We're at my sister's like high school graduation or something, and we're both like in the cast or like.
Aw.
And
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, there are obviously
Core
some
memory.
things I can remember. Yeah, maybe that's a core memory for me is the us having fractured bones together. Because I can still remember like I got home from school, or not home from school, but I was like taken away from school and to the hospital. And like I remember getting back and like we had to wait for the swelling to go down. And I remember playing the Game Boy Color on the couch with my foot, high above my head because that's what they suggested to do. So there are things that I remember, but a lot of the like ask me what I did on May 7th, 2001. It's like well,
yeah, specifics are hard, but like
those are the core memories then.
Yeah. I'll say, I mean, I can remember a lot of things from younger, but maybe that's because, I don't know, traumatic things happened to me, and then just my memory started forming long-term memories.
Pictures can also help too. Like,
Yeah. Well, I have some weird, no picture like memories, just random stuff come up. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that moment.
My brain does
Um,
the exact opposite. Like traumatic things started happening to me as a kid, and then my brain started trauma blocking until I got until I was 12, and it all like came rushing back, and that was a great time. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that was awesome.
I remember when I was 4, a very traumatic thing happened. A kid hit me with a golf club on purpose,
Yikes!
right in the head.
damn.
Cool.
I remember that whole thing playing out.
I remember my first black eye from my sister. She accidentally poked me in the eye with my own trophy, my own t-ball trophy.
Man.
And I got a black eye.
Yeah, I can still remember running into a pole on the playground when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. I remember because I was being chased by someone playing tag, and I was running towards, like, I was running through the swing set, and obviously there's a pole sticking out of the ground, and I remember looking forward and just smacking right into it. The next thing I remember is waking up and all the kids are like standing over me. So that was I still remember that pretty
shit
vividly.
core memories.
I mean, there's good ones mixed in there too, but
I was like,
I think it's
what would mine be like emotion wise? Being hit in the head with a golf club. Pain an emotion? I know fear was in there.
well, if disgust is an emotion, then sure, pain.
Yeah, that's true.
Pain and fear. Yeah. I had stitches. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I had an egg on my forehead for a day.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I remember walking away, like crying, and my sister helping me, and then like at one point I put my hand up to, because I hurt, and I pulled my hand down, and it was just all red.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I kind of passed out, like not fully, but like I couldn't walk anymore. I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh. I think a couple of my like fun core memories are like when my nephew and my niece were born. I held my niece all night long. Like from 9-10 o'clock at night until 6 a.m. I held her and just stared at her, and she was perfect, and that'll always be like one of my top core memories. Yeah. I think that's one of my favorites.
Good one.
Yeah.
How old were you at that time?
22.
Okay. See, we can see, kids, you can still make core memories even into adulthood. It's always changing. Don't let joy hold you back.
Freaking joy.
Freaking joy. No, I think this movie, like, I think it could be really helpful for parents to understand like their kids' emotions and what they're going through, like regardless if it's like a move or going into, middle school, high school, that kind of thing. Like, emotions are big, and it's hard to comprehend how you're feeling, especially as a kid when you don't know how to like communicate how you're feeling. So
yeah,
I think that's one thing. Like, one reason why I love this is because I wish I grew up with that, I guess. Because I'm an emotional person. I always have very big feelings about everything, and it's hard, and it sucks sometimes, and it was awful as a kid. So,
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple movies that I wish I had seen when I was younger. This is I would say maybe this would be, but I don't know if like would I truly understand the movie if I saw this when I was like, I don't know, 8, 9 years old. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like where I was, like, obviously I was pretty goofy for like my entire life up until like middle school or high school. Still am goofy, obviously, but that was pretty much like my entire personality was like SpongeBob goofy level shit. So I don't even like. I guess I appreciate it more watching it as an adult than I would watching it as a kid.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't think it would like. That's the hard thing. Is like me. If I did see this, would it connect with me? I don't know. I don't think I would understand it or either Or either that, or I would just be like, well, I just want to watch Lion King again, or Emperor New
Right.
Groove again. Like, I just want to watch the funny ones. Like, come on.
Yeah,
think
I
I
don't
would've
think I
been-
would have watched it or I would have interpreted it the same way as a kid than I did do as an adult.
As a
And then
kid, I
that's okay.
definitely would have been like, "Oh, this isn't portrayed to me. This is dumb."
Yeah, this
I
isn't.
can definitely.
This isn't
I can
Lord of
definitely
Rings
see
or
that,
Star
yeah.
Wars. Like, what the fuck?
Why
Where's
isn't
the
anybody
orcs
dead yet?
killing? No.
What the hell is hockey?
Yeah.
Why is who
I
would be
like sports
obsessed
as a
with
kid.
hockey? Oh,
I like
Fight,
sports.
I
fight,
didn't.
fight.
I probably would have been like, why aren't they playing like NFL? Like, why aren't they playing football?
Yeah.
Why are they playing hockey?
Yeah. Wow. Actually, I liked. I mean, I still do. I liked hockey as a kid.
You know, Greedy
one of
had
the
what was it, NHL Blitz or something,
Yeah,
Oh,
which
yeah.
we played a
one of the
lot.
greatest hockey games ever.
That was my first
Nice.
introduction to hockey. So-
Yeah. We had
That's
a
great.
and not a pro like the pro league team, not the NHL, but we had the minor version back home. And I remember going to a few of those games with my parents as a kid. And,
Cool.
like I didn't care for them too much, but
It's a unique sport. Like
Yeah,
compared to the
like-
other ones, it's pretty unique.
especially as a kid, cause who didn't care for sports, I didn't know what was going on, but it was fun to be there.
Hockey games are great. They're fun. in
Oh no,
person.
yeah, and as I grew older, I just loved to go to hockey games just to watch because they're. I mean, if a fight doesn't break out, then what's the point? But
Yeah.
you
My
yell at
side of
them.
the-
This is a hockey game, not figure skating. Beat
I love
someone
that-
up.
I love that they made Riley's like future boyfriend Canadian too, like as a kind of like salute to hockey and all that
But
good stuff.
is he the future boyfriend?
Well, the kid, is the kid at the end Canadian, or are we talking about the imaginary boyfriend she made up from Canada?
I was talking about the imaginary
Oh,
boyfriend.
okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that was a joke because people would always say, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend. You just haven't met them because they're from Canada."
See, I
Is that
thought-
what
I
it
thought
is?
it
I
was a
thought it
joke
was
about
a-
like
that's a-
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
that's-
salute to hockey. Maybe
No, that's just
I'm wrong.
it's the joke for that like
We're all interpreting it
imaginary-
differently.
yeah imaginary
guess so.
imaginary boyfriends and girlfriends are from Canada, so that's why you don't know them.
I have heard that before.
Hmm.
Now that you say that, but I
Yeah.
like my hockey story better.
I mean, sure. It's wrong, but sure.
I would die for Riley.
Yeah, so I guess that leads into the conversation that Riley has different emotions of different genders, while the dad
Oh yeah, the
is
parents have-
only male and the mom is only female, and like the kid that she bumps into at the very end of the movie is
also
only
only male.
male, and
Mhm.
Right, because she's bisexual or something.
well, that's what I think is hinting at in the sequel. I know we already talked about the sequel, but it's quite possible that that's what they're hinting at. And if they are, then like, hey, that's great.
Right.
Like,
Happy Pride Month, y'all.
yeah, Pride Month representation,
Pride
of
Month.
course, matters. And it would be something like, I know that Disney and Pixar have like had little things here and there for the LGBT community, but having a movie based they don't really even need to base it around it. Just like
No.
just have the
Yeah.
idea of it floating around here and there. Like it doesn't have to be the main thing, you know.
Well,
Right,
I
you
mean,
don't have to, like,
Disney
touch it.
did have the Owl House, where the creator basically had to fight tooth and nail to make the lead character bisexual.
Oh yeah, you're right. Forgot about that.
For
And that's
what?
basically also why it was canceled.
Yeah. Disney hasn't
Wait.
had the best track record recently, but
Yeah.
Well-
The Owl House. If
Owl
you haven't watched the Owl House, go watch the Owl House. It's great.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a Disney cartoon, TV show, and the lead person is
Mhm.
bisexual and gets a girlfriend, so a lesbian
Oh, okay.
girlfriend,
Right on.
and basically, as soon as it became very apparent that that's where it was going, Disney
Mhm.
basically tried to put the axe on it.
Oh.
And then they kind of fought tooth and nail and were able to get at least so like there's 2 seasons, and then the 3rd season is technically like 3 movies, 3 short movies that like equal up to a season of episodes.
Interesting.
And then
Huh.
people were pissed because also like Disney, then once they realized, once people started complaining, like, "That's not a good show. What are you doing?" And they were like, "Oh, no, yeah, we love this show. Yeah, go this show." It's like, no, screw you. You guys have already canceled it, and I know, like, for Gravity Falls, I think there was supposed to be a gay character in there, but Disney wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, which
Gotcha.
is
I've not
which is
seen
crazy
Gravity
because they
Falls
do
either.
like Pride Month stuff now.
Yeah.
So if like these
Oh, that's-
shows had come out around now, maybe they would have been approved.
Maybe, and that's
Huh.
the
Maybe,
a
like,
lot of
that's-
them still do like, yeah, Pride Month, but then really they're like, but no, but don't, but
Well,
hide it.
that's most corporations, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
They're
we're
just
an
trying to get-
ally,
They're
right?
just trying to get your gay money.
Yeah.
Your gay money.
Wow. All right.
Hey,
They're not going to get
I'm a
my
member
gay
of the LGBTQ community, so I can say it. And they're not getting my gay money.
Yeah, I don't like.
Right
I don't
on.
know if the whole like mixed gender thing was on purpose when they originally made Inside Out, but if they continue with like you're
Yeah.
born that way, I think that's a great message. Better than the message. I
I
mean,
think so too.
it's a good
Yeah.
message. I shouldn't compare messages, but yeah, I think it would be a pretty good message. Like, yeah, because a lot of
Yeah.
people are born that way, and it's not
Mhm.
really a decision. It's more so like, hey, you you grow up, and now you're like, oh, maybe I am this or
Yeah.
that, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, she
That's-
could also be non-binary.
I don't know if they'll go that far, but I feel like
You never know.
Disney's still on like the cusp of like trying to even get a little bit of
Yeah.
like because like we talked about Onward for Ray's first movie, and they have like a lesbian couple in that
Lesbian.
for like a
Mhm.
millisecond, and it's like something that could easily be cut out, something they could easily dub over for other countries.
Yeah.
So having like a
I
whole
don't-
movie
is
based around
non-binary
this.
is non-binary more like what's the word?
Being non-binary is like a trans thing.
I mean, that's what I am, is non-binary, so
Okay.
I'm just saying, I think
yeah.
Disney's gonna
it
try
is
and
a
do the
trans
more,
thing. I don't
like-
know. I'm just like I feel like you can hide non-binary more than you could, and that'd be something they would try to hide. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, either way, they'll probably yeah. I just think having any like if it's like a main point of the movie, maybe not just. Well, it could just
Yeah.
be in the movie in general, something that they can't just edit out. That's a good step forward for just
Yeah.
maybe a gay character or a maybe not a trans character, but at least a gay character or something. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just something that we'll have to wait and see when the movie officially comes out, but it would be nice to have that representation in like a big way instead of it just being like a minor character or a scene that they can cut out.
Yeah. For sure.
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what are your pronouns?
He, they.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. Happy Pride Month.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month.
I am bisexual.
Ooh,
Happy
thank-
Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
I found out around Riley's age, actually. So the fact that you said it, I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because same, Riley, same.
Mhm.
And I am an ally.
Hey!
I always like to
Thanks.
say I accept everyone for who they are, and I've always said that. Well, maybe not always, but I've tried to make my stream a safe place for all types of people. It's the same thing with the Discord as well.
For sure.
Yeah, same.
We appreciate it.
Don't speak for me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I also appreciate it. Greedy, you're awful quiet.
Nope, no,
He
man,
does not.
I just agree, man. I agree. I mean,
No, don't put the pressure. If he doesn't want to say
Oh
anything,
no,
he doesn't have to.
I wasn't even saying that about that. I would just in general. He's just been quiet this episode. I'll make sure he's all right.
Greedy, are
that
you
was
okay?
really poor timing on my part. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm an ally as well, so nothing else to add to it.
That's fair. I'm so sorry. That was not pointed. That was just really poor timing on my part.
Well,
So,
let's loop around back to the movie.
Yeah.
Good.
It's great conversation. Don't get me wrong. It's great conversation. Which of course we'll probably have more to say about these topics in the future with more movies. But
Yeah.
When does the second movie come out? Like, when's its release date?
soon.
I think it's
June
like
15th.
Okay. So I'm just wondering if by the next time we get back to Ray's choice,
I
if
don't
she'll
know, though.
pick In and Out too.
In and out.
in and out.
Yeah, you know,
In and Out too,
Inside Out.
the burger joint.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, don't think
June
about animal
13th.
fries. Don't think about burgers.
Dino nuggets though. Can go for some of that.
Dino nuggets.
Heck yeah. June 13th is when it comes out. So
Okay.
next
Oh.
Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It'll already be on streaming by the time it's Ray's turn again.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah. It's kind of been how it's
I'm
been
gonna
going.
go see it. I'm excited.
I'll definitely go see it. Because I like this movie a lot. Like enough. Like
Yeah.
once again, it's not my favorite, but I do like it. I think it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I doubt I'll see it in theaters just because I don't see movies in theaters anymore. Mainly
like-
just because by the time I'm like, oh, I should go see that, it's already out
it's
of
gone,
theaters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with Kong X Godzilla.
Yeah.
I want to see that, and it just a couple
It's
weeks
gone.
went by, and we didn't go see it, and then it's gone.
Yeah. Well, you got these big execs complaining, no one goes to the movies anymore. It's like, well, one, most of us want to see it at home anyways. But two, you guys would just take it out of the theaters so quickly that we don't even get a chance.
And 3 is just so expensive.
It is also
so
very
expensive.
expensive.
I don't want to be spending $30 to go see a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Preach.
I love the theater experience in terms of like the big screen, the surround sound. The one thing that's been a bit worse than ever before is like people on their phones and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
when you have like that bright light in the corner of your eye, it's just so distracting.
So
And I'm one of those
annoying.
people who's like, I don't want to like be confrontational, but it
Right.
really annoys me.
You'll
Um,
stare at him like the whole time.
I do
Yeah.
like, so we have theaters here called Galaxy Theaters where, like, before the movie starts, they actually have a thing saying, if you take out your phone during the movie, like,
You
and
will be
disturb
beaten.
people, you will be kicked out of the theater with no refund.
Yeah,
And they
that-
actually will
Right.
have people come through, like, during the movie to make sure no one's on their phone,
That's
which
awesome.
I appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any theater around me does that, but that'd be nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
And I mean, these people, they're already paying for the movie. They're paying for their food. It's like, well,
Yep.
why aren't you watching what you paid for? Like, why? What's so
Yeah.
important on like Twitter or Facebook or whatever that you need to pull out your phone every 5 seconds?
They got a
Yep.
live update, everybody. All our followers.
Yeah, 5
of
minutes
10
ago,
of them.
watching Inside Out 2. 5 minutes later, wow, joy. 5 minutes later, wow, fear. Wow, anxiety.
Why is Joy's arc starting over again? She learned this in the first movie.
But yeah, I do like seeing movies in theaters, and I'll probably see this in a theater if I have the chance. It's just finding the time, one, and two, like, if I do have the time, sometimes it's like, well, I would rather be doing this than being at
Yeah.
the theater for like 2.5 hours or whatever.
Yep. Agreed.
I recently saw the Garfield movie in theater, which
Why? I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm a Garfield fan. I've always been a Garfield fan since I was really young. Chris
Yeah.
Chris Pratt was not a good Garfield.
Well, yeah, that's
As
what I
predicted.
mean. Yeah.
But-
Didn't you hate the one before that too?
I never saw the second like live action Garfield movie, but the original live action Garfield movie was pretty shit when I rewatched it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I thought it was so good, and Bill Murray was like Garfield. But I rewatched it like a couple years ago, and I was like, "Wow, this sucks! Like, how did I ever like this?"
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite things from Zombieland, the movies. When Bill Murray's in it, they're like, "Do you have any regrets?" Garfield, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that this Garfield movie. I just it was very by the numbers, and it just didn't do anything special. Like we saw Puss in Boots in theaters, and that was like something special, right?
Yeah.
This was just like it's a run of the mill kids movie. It doesn't do anything that's gonna surprise you. It's just
Yeah.
exactly the way it is, and it's the same plot as
I mean,
like 5
yeah,
other
say it-
movies.
Yeah, it looked like that just from the trailers, and I was just like, and then yeah, seeing Chris Pratt, I was like, oh, that's an awful Garfield voice. I knew it was gonna be bad.
But yeah, looping around to Inside Out though.
Yeah.
Lots of personality in this movie.
Oh yeah. No, they
Lots
did good.
of fun, good voice acting. Like Phyllis from The Office is Sadness.
Yeah.
She fit
Yeah.
perfectly, I thought.
Yeah, 'cause
She
she was
does.
sad in Office too, so if it's
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you got
uh,
Amy Poehler as Joy, who's just from Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
Just exudes
Mhm.
exudes joy.
I thought Bill Hader
Definitely.
also did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Lewis Black.
I honestly like when I first saw the trailer for this, I was like, Anger would be like that's the Guilford Godfrey like character, and I
Yes.
wish that they had gotten to voice it. I mean,
Oh.
rest in peace, King.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like Lewis Black is just anger personified.
They have a similar sounding voice though.
They do have a similar
I
voice,
can
but like
definitely imagine-
Lewis Black, just anytime you've seen him on like the Daily Show or anything, he's just ranting and yelling.
Yeah, I guess I've never seen the Daily Show, so I guess I wouldn't know.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me either.
Yeah, he just personifies anger. He's like Gilbert Godfrey. He's got a similar voice, but he's more happy than Lewis Black.
I guess. Yeah,
So.
I always imagined him voicing that character just because I felt like the character was kind of made for him, but maybe because he was already in Aladdin, not Zazu. What's the parrot?
Iago.
Iago.
Yeah, he was already Iago, so I'm guessing like maybe they were like, well, we can't have him voice two characters in the Disney Pixar world, you know. Maybe it would confuse the kids or something. I don't know, because I honestly I think that most people who do voice acting like bigger voices, they don't voice more than one character in the Disney Pixar universe, and that might be the reason why is because they don't want to confuse children, I guess.
Yeah. Well, for me,
Fair.
when I saw the casting, I was like, Lewis Black is perfect for anger.
Yeah, he does a good job. I'm not saying he
Yeah.
didn't do it, but I always imagine Guilford Godfrey doing that voice.
That's fair, but I never did.
And you can't forget about Disgust.
Oh yeah, Mindy Kaling. Which all I can think about now when I hear her is just like,
Velma.
how did you screw up Scooby Doo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they greenlit it. I think the second season came out. I was very surprised after all was said and done that they still went. I mean, they probably were already working on it. Let's be honest, but
Yeah.
I think I watched one episode of that Velma show and I was like, oh damn, this hurts.
Yeah.
Like I understand
Well,
like
just
trying to
Yeah.
modernize it, but
Everything I heard, it's an awful show with awful, like, Velma's just the worst, and you're supposed to be rooting for her.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is a part of it. Yeah, it's also like got some muddled messaging in there as well,
Yeah.
which is never great. So, but that does lead me to I know Greedy said it a couple times in his like written review. I guess I wasn't like exactly clear on what the message of the movie is exactly. Like I get the basic like what they're going for, but what did you all feel like the main message of the movie was?
That experience sadness is okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I got like experiencing everything is okay, and
Yeah.
like your feelings are valid, even though they might be extreme or scary, or you might not understand them. They're still valid regardless. And honestly, like sometimes you need to let it out, and you need to be honest, because it'll help you in the long run. Like
Mhm.
when she takes like that deep breath after she explains everything, it's like you can just tell like that's what she needed. She needed to be honest with her parents, even when she felt like she couldn't, because they were kind of
Mhm.
they were too dependent on her happiness while everything like was stressful. Yeah. And she's just a kid. Like let her be a kid, So feelings are valid. That's what I got.
Mhm. Anyone else also? This is, I guess, side topic. You go first, Greedy, and then I'll bring this up. Sorry.
Just that whatever you're going through, it's okay. And then that there's like helps out there, and then that you should always remember, your past um, memories, I guess, like you could say, and that family matters. And there's a lot of times where kids are thinking about running away, and I think a good message is you shouldn't do that. You should go back and be with your family.
Yeah, my baseline idea was like your past doesn't make you who you are in a way, I guess. I mean, there's obviously extremes that go against that, but um, you can't you can't always be that innocent child for your entire life. You need to grow up eventually, and I think
Mm.
that the joy kind of goes through that in terms of like we got to let the young Riley go that was all full of happiness and joy because there's more going on in life now. And
Yeah.
I guess the main message is that like life can get tough, but you like Reedy said, you have support around you that can help you through it. Accepting help, like how sadness helped Bing Bong and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Accepting the help from the other emotions in the in the emotional spectrum is a okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, what were we gonna say?
So, anyone like noticed, that which emotions were in control of different people? Like sadness is the mom, and anger is the
Mhm.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're adults now, so all the emotions work together. But it makes you think, oh, dad was an angry kid. Mom was a sad kid. And I don't remember what the boy at the end was.
I
They were
think
all running over
I
the
think he
place.
was
So
fear.
yeah, I think it was either
yeah,
fear or anger.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were a couple because I think the guy like at the end who was dressed as the clown was controlled by fear.
Mm.
That's the main guy, and I think the one like kind of like goth emo girl was disgust was in control.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like you would think that if they're all working together, they would all kind of like I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But
yeah,
I mean, there are some times where you think about this movie and kind of, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't work as you want it to. Like if you really start thinking about, like, okay, why?
yeah,
That whole ending montage kind of made me go, well, I mean, if they're all working together, why is sadness in like this big pedestal in the mom's head? Like
Yeah.
why is anger in the throne in the dad's head? Like. But he didn't.
That's
But they
fair.
weren't like the mom didn't seem like a sad character, and the dad didn't seem like an angry character. So it's like,
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. It was interesting. I turned it off for the credit. I forgot that there was a little montage, so I missed all that.
yeah, it's
Oh.
only like a minute long, like little thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I love the
Just
cat.
talking.
Oh yeah, the cat and the dog is like
Yeah.
amazing. I love that so much.
Me too.
I'll have to-
Especially like the cat like just like tapping the one like control and it makes it just go batshit crazy
Yeah.
like on the outside.
I'll have to go back and watch the credits.
Yeah. That's great.
I talking about it. I remember when I saw it originally, in theaters
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, I thought it was interesting who they show as like the lead person is different in each person.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that her mom was sadness.
Yeah. Also, how come they all like the emotions in other places all have like similar hairs and as the
Like yeah.
yeah, and
to
then
the
Riley
person.
doesn't. None of them. They're either bald or have their own hair.
I was thinking that once she really grew into her personality, that's when they start to
Mhm.
conform.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was just my idea. Was
Yeah.
they must
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
start to conform.
I mean, obviously, again, if you think about it too much, it kind of breaks down. But obviously, it was just they were like, oh, well, we want to show that, we have these unique characters, but we want to show that these characters are, this
Different,
person. So
yeah.
kids don't get confused. They're like, oh, yeah, this is the mom's. You can tell because they look like the mom.
Yeah. It probably is as simple as that, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Maybe they'll dive into it a little bit deeper in the second movie, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
It'll probably be one of those things that's like, let's just not talk about this and let people speculate. Which might be the best way to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let people talk about it. It's like the end of the Thing. What's the conversation? Talking about what it could have been. Same thing here. Well, what's the real reason that they're the same and they're different and blah blah blah. That's the forever conversation until they probably eventually talk about it in like the third movie or whatever down the road. Because we know that there'll probably be at least another one after this, especially with Toy Story getting 5 movies.
Ridiculous.
I actually saw a thing that from the animators and stuff about Toy Story, and they were even questioning why is there a Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
But the writer actually said, well, because it's not, the first 3 movies it's about Andy's story kind of, but like the whole story is about Woody and it's his story. So that's why there's 5 of them, because you gotta see how Woody's story ends.
Yeah, but the 4th movie, I don't know if we should get into this
Well,
but
I don't know about Woody
the fourth-
specifically, but the toys, yeah.
Like the 4th movie kind of like gives a nice bow on everyone's story. Like you
Yes.
don't see Andy, of course, but
Yeah.
Buzz, Woody, the rest of the toys, they kind of get their ending, and then you hear that they're doing a 5th movie, and it's like, well, why do this whole emotional ending at the end of 4 when you're just going to do another movie where we get these characters again? There'll probably be another emotional ending. Like I get it for the third
the emotional
movie.
ending of the 5th one is that they finally go to the dump.
Yeah, they meet up at the dump 50 years from now.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you for so long, Slinky Dog.
And that's when Al
Slinky
from
Dog?
Al's Toy Barn comes by. It's like, oh my, it's my Woody. He's like,
man.
yeah, he's like some deranged old man. He's like, Woody, my boy,
Oh my god.
you've returned to me.
The worst.
Anyway, sorry, that was off topic.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, well, yeah. I liked Toy Story 4. I like it better than the 3rd movie, which is I know kind of heresy, but it had a nice like conclusion to like all the toys, and it's like, well, and I would hate for the same thing to happen to like, let's say they do like an Up 2 or Inside Out 3 or God forbid a Cars 4, like those emotional moments that happen that are actually good during those movies. I think it does lessen the impact when you know that in the 3rd movie or the 2nd movie they're back and they're happy and everything's fine, and so like you're watching like Toy Story 2 and you're like, oh well, the ending of Toy Story 2 was pretty good. They go home with Andy and blah 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 as they usually do. It's like that whole journey sure still matters, but like now we know that there's a 3rd movie and we know what happens in the 3rd movie, so it kind of does lessen the blow of some of those emotional moments in the 2nd one. And I could definitely see that happening if like Inside Out had a trilogy to it. Like it could lessen some of those moments, especially if they retread the same ground like they did with Toy Story 3 and kind of into 4.
Yeah. To your blasphemous point about 3, I'll add to that. So many people are like, "Oh, so emotional stuff." I thought it was fine, but that was about it. I didn't find it emotional or anything. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, I recently did a ranking of all the Pixar movies on my other podcast, and I got a little bit of heat for Toy Story 3 being like in the C tier because it honestly is just a retread of Toy Story 2. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's why I would put it in C tier.
I like Toy
Which
Story
is
2
fine,
a lot.
people. C tier is average.
And when I watched Toy Story 3, I was like, wait, it's just Toy Story 2. Like, this is just Toy Story 2 again. What the hell?
Except without the sad Sarah McLachlan song.
Right.
Shit still tears me up.
I still love the part where Mr. Potato Head puts his pieces on the tortilla. Love that so
Yeah.
much. But anyway,
We're gonna make this a double review. Jeez.
well, does anyone have anything else they want to say about Inside Out?
No.
No.
I love it.
All right, Ray, go ahead and start us off.
Okay. Well, I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's in my top 5 for Disney. It might be top 5 in general, to be completely fair with you. But love it. Love the music. The music is great. The score is awesome. We didn't even talk about that, but yeah, top tier. I think it's wonderful for parents to watch that have kids that are, getting close to the age of Riley, and overall think that everything was fantastic, and I am going to give it a 5 out of 5.
All right. I saw that coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty obvious.
Wait, a 5 out of 5? I thought you
Someone
were
who
going to give it a
loves
2.
1.5.
Yeah, you're right.
Can
I'm
you
not
give it a
even gonna-
6 out of 5?
0. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 5. That's what I'm gonna do.
Perfect.
Well, that's gonna destroy Callus's Excel sheet that he totally is still working on.
I could just hear him slamming the keyboard right now. No.
As for me, I do like this movie a lot. I think it's a pretty good one. I like the character designs and the world that they kind of set up. It does fall apart a bit, like with some plot holes here and there, and maybe some things that I thought would have worked better with a little bit of tweaking here and there. But for the most part, I think it's got a lot of fun and imagination to it. Taking this concept of like emotions and the inside of like your brain and what it kind of trying to represent all the different functions as best as it can for both a younger audience and maybe an older one as well. In the end, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I do enjoy it, but once again, it's not like one of my favorites, but I think that it's good. I would definitely watch it again down the road.
Respect.
Yeah, I at first when watching this, I was like, I'm not gonna like this movie, because I thought it was like just some like child's movie. It's quite the opposite. I definitely respect it as an older individual. You can really relate to it, and it's also, I don't want to say a fun time, but it is fun. Like I think a lot of kids will be like, oh my gosh, it's so fun, the trains, derailing and all that. While some kids might be able to understand what's going on, but I think the adults will understand more. It gets better, or so that's like knocking, getting both of those perfect. I could say made this experience better. The animations and the visuals are all phenomenal. I just love the character designs. And I just like all the emotions besides, like I said, fear. I think they could have replaced that with someone else, maybe anxiety or something, but that's probably all saved for the second movie, as we talked about here today. And I originally gave it a 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Yemmy and Greedy here. Like the visuals of the movie, I think are stunning, but it's a Pixar movie, so that's expected at this point. Story-wise, I think it's a really good story. Tells a fun little message about, feel your feelings. But yeah, there are some plot holes, some things if you think about too much, you go, well, this doesn't make sense. But it's a lot of fun. And I think they did a good job, and I also will give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of movies that Tay will probably hate, go ahead, Yummy.
What? Wait.
The fan vote.
Fan vote.
My transition was going to be, speaking of movies that are visually stunning.
That works too.
The
I like
fan
mine
vote.
better because Tay says he hates it. So
I didn't. Well, but I didn't say I hated this movie.
All right, so the fan vote happened, and this was actually one of the first movies we ever got recommended to us. Tim Rules' movie won Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, which is, I think, the second movie in the Michael Bay movie timeline. This came out in 2009, directed by the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Bay. And the synopsis is, revenge is coming. Sam Witwicky leaves the Autobots behind...
Wiki. Come on,
Yeah,
get his name
Wiki.
right at least.
Leaves the Autobots behind for a normal life. But when his mind is filled with cryptic symbols, the Decepticons target him, and he is dragged back into the Transformers War. The cast is Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson. There's a guy named Michael Papa John in the movie as well.
Let's go.
Along with a bunch of others. So Greedy, you've watched this last year or something like that. Why don't you give us a quick synopsis of the first movie for anyone who doesn't know what happened in the first movie?
Pretty much there is Autobots and Decepticons. Autobots are the good guys, Decepticons are the bad guys. They had their own planet called Cybertron, and there was a war between them for the Allspark. The Allspark literally is a powerful cube, and of course the Decepticons wanted to use it for evil, and the Autobots wanted to use it build a new planet. And it goes into Earth, and Autobots and Decepticons and humans all fight for peace and hate, I guess. Best way to put it.
So yeah, if you want to check this movie out, watch along with us, join the conversation, and maybe not be spoiled, make sure you watch Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen before the next episode airs in 2 weeks. You can watch it on Amazon, Apple TV, YouTube, the general places. I believe it's also on Max. Not called HBO Max anymore, just Max. So check it out there as well. I've been dreading this day. I don't know about y'all,
Yeah,
but I have been
It's
dreading
been in
this
there
day.
for so long. I knew it would eventually happen. I'm just sad Big Fish didn't win. That's like one that's on my list now. But since it's a fan vote, I'm not going to put it on my list. But I thought about it like a few days or a week or so before it was actually added to the list, and I was like, oh, good.
It was a surprise upset. Usually
Yeah.
Callis takes these things away, but the people wanted Transformers, so we're gonna do it.
The best thing that I've ever experienced with Transformers is the 4D ride.
The 4D
in
ride's fun.
California.
Yeah.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was fun.
That was amazing. Like, I had so much fun on that thing.
Well, hopefully you
which
have
is-
as good of a time with this movie.
You won't.
I hope so
Oh, it's a
too.
ride, all right. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like most of the
It's
time
a ride.
those 4D rides just make me motion sick, but that's one of the few that I actually can ride and not get motion sick, and it's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Like the Harry Potter one, nope. I did that. I've done it twice. Both times I almost threw up.
That's how I feel about Guardians. I feel like I would get kind of sick on Guardians new one.
The Guardians.
But
of the
that's
Galaxy.
in Disney World. Sorry.
Oh, that's not really a 4D ride. That's more of a.
No, it's like a
Tower
roller
drop.
coaster, but
Well,
there's
that's
there's a bunch of screens and shit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a 4D ride.
That's just
Yeah.
a Disneyland right now, though, right? Not World.
No,
They
it's
still-
in Disney World.
Disneyland Adventures and World. The one that World
they
is
took away
more
Twilight-
elaborate.
The Tower of Terror from both. Look, I thought Tower of Terror was still around in Disney World.
No.
No,
Oh,
that's right.
okay,
It is.
okay.
Yeah, Tower of Terror is still
Guardians-
Disney World. Guardians replaced Tower of Terror.
In Disneyland, but
California
Guardians,
Adventures.
yeah, Guardians at Disney World is an actual roller coaster. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
not. Yeah, it's a separate thing completely.
I guess I'm a
Okay.
bit out of the loop. I haven't.
Yeah,
I've
I'm still
been-
mad because like the Guardians one's fun and the Tower of Terror Guardians, but like the Twilight Tower of Terror was just so good.
That's why you need to move on to the East Coast.
Yeah, but then I'd have to live on the East Coast.
Exactly. That's where
Well-
all the best people are.
No,
It's
I
that
suppose.
it's that time on the podcast where we give a small recommendation. Does anyone
Live on
have
the
any?
East Coast. No.
Does anyone have
Live on
any
the East
small
Coast.
recommendations for today's episode?
I watched Godzilla X Kong. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. So if you can
Thanks.
watch it, I'd watch it.
Definitely was planning on watching it.
I
Um,
liked it. I have a feeling some people will be like, but I really liked it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to watch it. My recommendation is nothing. I don't have one.
Okay, you don't have to
Mine
have
is
one every
to-
time.
I know.
I hardly
It's
have any
fired.
every time. So
Mine is to drink water. Drink lots of water. It's getting very hot outside.
Hmm.
Hydrate,
It
hydrate,
is.
hydrate.
It is very hot outside.
Yeah,
In
especially
fact,
for you.
Yeah, it's 99 right now. At least it's actually kind
That's
of
gross.
overcast, which helps. But
Tyson
Yeah.
says that's disgusting.
East side finally gets sun, so we're all outside enjoying the sun.
Yeah, we get
Right.
too much sun here. The sun is a deadly laser.
Yeah.
Icky.
Sun is deadly.
I don't know if I've recommended this before, but if you haven't seen Smiling Friends, it's probably booted up to being one of my favorite shows of all time. Not every episode in the newest season has hit in the same way as the first season, but it's still a lot of fun, and I really enjoy the show. It's very chaotic and goofy, and it's like that episode of SpongeBob where Pantera did the music for the episode, and that's right up my alley. So, I love Smiling Friends. The recent episodes have been good. Not all of them have been like up to the same quality as the first season, but they're still really fun to watch, and it's a good episode. It's good. It's good so far. I enjoy it.
What streaming platform?
Max.
Max.
It's also
the only
Adult
one I
Swim.
don't have.
Oh yeah, actually I do have a recommendation.
No, it's too
If-
late.
Oh no.
No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. If if you just want, especially for us older generational people, millennials who grew up with Reading Rainbow.
Heck
yeah. It's a Reading Rainbow documentary on Netflix that you just watch and you just go, oh yeah, LeVar Burton's the best, and it just makes you feel good. Also, my
Okay.
mind was blown. I didn't realize Reading Rainbow went until 2006.
Wow.
Did it really?
Yes.
Oh my god! I thought it was over in like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Me too. I thought 96 like the latest, and it was just like, oh no, damn.
Well, hot dog. That's amazing.
Oh yeah,
Well,
the documentary is called Butterfly in the Sky.
Aww.
So it's a fun little watch. Like it's just lighthearted, it makes you feel good. Remember, Reading Rainbow, so good.
Nice.
Well, you know what my favorite lines from Reading Rainbow was? Thank you for listening to this episode of Film Freaks with a Z at the end. We really appreciate any reviews or ratings, whether it be on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We also appreciate anyone who comments, likes, and subscribes on the YouTube channel, of course. We also appreciate you listening if you're listening to this on any of the platforms that I previously mentioned. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with...
Greedy Waffles.
Taymation.
Ray positivity.
And this has been Film Freaks with a Z. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.